If you didn't already know, the Game Award nominees are up. It's time to vote, but there's been a little bit of drama surrounding this, at least on my timeline. The games nominated for Game of the Year for 2023 are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously, I think if you know me, you probably know what I voted for this year, but there were some games on the list that kind of had me looking a little side-eye. Now, I'm not here to shade anyone's favorite game, but I just have to wonder, get it? Why was Super Mario Bros. Wonder nominated for Game of the Year? I have heard very few people talk about this, and I know that Mario is a beloved franchise, but it just feels a little bit weird for a Mario game to be nominated. I mean, I'm not really a Nintendo girly like that, but I feel like once you've played one Mario game, you've kind of played them all. Another game that surprised me on the list was Alan Wake 2. That game literally just came out, and while I have been playing it, I'm only about 2 or 3 hours in. I do think it's a really great game, but I've seen people on my timeline say that Alan Wake 2 is one of the best horror games that's come out in a very long time, which is just kind of surprising to me. I'll report back with my thoughts on this after I finish the game. But it is a little bit weird for a game that just came out to already be nominated for Game of the Year. I mean, I don't even know how many people have actually finished Alan Wake 2 yet. Of course, we all know that Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be nominated, and I kind of do hope that they win, just because I feel like the come up for that game has been so amazing, and I do think that Larian deserves the win. If you know anything about me, I'm not really a Legend of Zelda fan either. I did say that I'm not really a Nintendo girly, but Legend of Zelda is just one of those things that I can't really get into. And again, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but I feel like Tears of the Kingdom looked very similar to Breath of the Wild. That's all I'm going to say about that. Similarly, I've heard that Spider-Man 2 is very similar to the past 2 Spider-Man games that came out earlier, the original Spider-Man and Miles Morales. I do know that a lot of people were looking forward to Spider-Man 2 and a lot of people enjoyed it. I am also not a Marvel girly, so I can't really speak to this. But the main drama that I have been seeing is over Resident Evil 4 being nominated. Many know that I am a huge Resident Evil stan. It is my favorite franchise. I'm very passionate about it, so of course I was very happy for Resident Evil 4 to be nominated. But I've seen so many people complaining that Resident Evil 4 got nominated for Game of the Year because it's a, quote, remake. It's true, Resident Evil 4 is a remake, but it also changed so much content and added so much content from the original. I feel like it's doing a disservice to the game to just saying, oh, it's a remake, it doesn't deserve to be nominated. I've also seen a lot of people on my timeline saying some dumb shit like, oh, why was Resident Evil 4 nominated but not Hogwarts or Starfield? Really? Hogwarts or Starfield? Like, of all the games that could have been nominated in place of RE4 remake, you want Hogwarts or Starfield? The last thing that shocked me was the fact that Final Fantasy 16 was not nominated for Game of the Year. I think that game was totally deserving of the nominee. I was really thinking that they would get nominated. I knew that they probably wouldn't win just because there were so many other amazing games that came out this year. But the fact that they weren't even nominated kind of had me feeling some type of way. Final Fantasy 16 was probably one of my favorite narrative experiences that I've played in a game in quite some time. That combined with the graphics and the music and the combat, I feel like it was just a really great experience, and I'm sitting here confused as to why that game didn't get nominated, but Super Mario Bros. Wonder did. I don't know. There's some things that I'm excited to see nominated for Game of the Year, and there are some things that I'm looking a little bit sideways at. But let me know what you guys think about the Game of the Year nominees in the comments below.